Today, we're going to cover how to make an image for use of the Tegra button makers available in the Tech Lab at Emory. The first thing I'm going to need is an image of some sort. I'll get to that in a second. Next, I'm going to go to the SDL website and get a handy template that can be found here that I can use in Photoshop to actually create my button. Now, I have to use Photoshop because it's a PSD extension. This means that it's a Photoshop file. If I don't have access to Photoshop, I can go to the Student Digital Life Media Lab found on the 4th floor of the Woodruff Library for any kind of digital media creation stuff I might have. When I open that file, you'll see some notes at the bottom. These notes are just simple reminders to guide you through this process. Now over here, I have the image that I want to use. I've already opened this up in Photoshop. It's a separate file. So what I need to do is copy it over into the template that I'm working with. I want to select the layer that I need. I'm going to click and drag into the other template. Once I'm over here, I'm going to drop this layer down to the very bottom. This way I can manipulate this layer and see everything else and be able to line it all up so that I can cut my button appropriately. The button that I want to make today is a 1-inch button, so I'm going to hide the 2 1/4 inch button template labeled here. Reselect my image layer, and now I can move it where I need it to be if I select the correct tool. I can line up my image how I need it to be and how I want it to look on my button using these rings as guides. The inner ring is what my image is going to focus on. The outer ring is where the die cutter will cut. Anything past that outer ring will not exist. It will be cut away when I press my button. Between the two rings is a section that's kind of bleed over. This is a section that on the image, when it's placed on the button, will wrap around, and I may not actually get to see it all. So keep that in mind when you're actually designing your image. If you're focusing on people or a pet or something with a focal point, you want to line it up appropriately. In this case, I want a little bit of the red and orange, and I kind of want to get this offset bloom that's happening. From here, I'm going to hide the text and hide the image the layer of the template, and I'll print my image appropriately, the same way I do anything else. From here, I'll take it and I'll cut it and I'll make my button.